business of balloons. Well, the words business and balloons really don't gel well together. But when the founders of a brand decide to deliver beautifully designed, fully inflated balloons to their customers, you know they mean business. Welcome to Handle with Care with GFS. I'm Sambi, and joining me today is Laura Slater, co-founder of Bubblegum Balloons. Hi, Laura. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Oh, it's a pleasure. We're glad to have you here.
Thank you. First of all, beautiful studio. We're so glad we could do it here. So thank you again to your team for organizing this for us.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
First, for our audience, in your own words, please introduce yourself and tell me a little bit about Bubblegum Balloons and how it all started.
Yeah, of course. So I'm Laura Slater, one of the co-founders. There's three of us. The other two are Sally, that's my sister, and Megan, who's one of our best friends. So we started the business 13 years ago when we basically had a small online gift website that we wanted to grow and increase and make bigger. And one of the things that we looked at adding onto the gift website was balloons. So we were thinking, could we send balloons in a box out to people? And we had a look at what was available in the UK market at the time, and there really was nothing available that you couldn't send a confetti balloon in a box in the UK at that point in time. But there were a few things happening over in America. We were like, you know what, this could be something here. So we decided to make some confetti balloons for different occasions, so birthdays, get well soon, various different celebrations. We created like 17 of them, built our own website on a website building thing. We borrowed a photo studio, begged and borrowed a photo studio off of somebody, shot these balloons, uploaded them onto the website. And we then sent those balloons, because obviously we didn't have any money at this stage. We were literally starting with nothing. We had little babies running around us. They're all teenagers now. So yeah, It was a crazy time. But we sent these balloons that we inflated for the photo shoot out to press and PR houses across London. We just literally Googled them, found some addresses and popped them in the post. And they got sent across London. And one of them arrived on the desk of a lady who was just about to announce the Essentials Beauty Magazine Awards. Brilliant. She phoned up and said, please, can I order 35 of these confetti balloons? And she sent 35 to more press and PR houses across London. So in literally straight away, we kind of had this hit. And that hit then led to other things. And before we knew it, we had Givenchy on the phone saying, please, can we order 50 balloons to go out with a new perfume that we're releasing? And we were just pinching ourselves, still blowing up these balloons from our front room and hand delivering them to Royal Mail, thinking if only Givenchy could see what we were doing. But yeah, that's how that all began with the three of us. So it's quite a fun story.
That's brilliant, because I was having a little walk around your warehouse with your teammates, and I could see some enviable brands there. I think that would make a beautiful beauty stack, in someone's on someone's dressing table. So well done. And I think two sisters and a best friend. That's like an idea that made it out of the group chat. So
yeah,
well
exactly.
done on that.
Exactly.
And you've grown so much. But what is it you think that makes your business unique compared to the others that are there in the market?
I think that we are unique. There isn't another balloon company like us in terms of size and scale, but I think we've always been unique, because initially when we started, the route into balloons when we started was that you went to various balloon trainings and you learned to do what everybody else was already doing in balloons. And we didn't do that at all. We just literally found our own way of doing it, made it up as we went along, knew what we liked the style of, so figured out how to do it in our style. And very quickly, we kind of created our own bubblegum balloon style. I guess one of the key things for us is always attention to detail in any of the products from kind of start to finish. And I think that's what sets us out from the rest. And then the other part of it, I think, is just the trustworthiness. So you saw as you wandered around the brands that we're working with, and those people are obviously coming back to us time and time again, because we're a trustworthy organization who always deliver over and above. So yeah, I guess that's what I would say sets us out from the rest.
Yes, I think you've managed to retain a wonderful and enviable list of, black book of clients. So that speaks for itself.
Yeah.
If I had, because you've been doing this for so long now, if Bubblegum Balloons had a personality, and as tough as it is, if you had to put that in 3 words, what would those 3 words be?
Well, we always put it in one word, actually. That I'll find some others if you need me to. But we always say go epic. That's kind of our word. So when we do an install, it's always epic. When we're delivering something that's personalized in a box, it has to be epic. You know, everything about it has to be thought through and curated with that same kind of mindset behind it. But I mean, as a brand, we're fun, right? When we turn up to the events, or when we deliver things in the post, it's always so exciting because it's a big box with balloons that fly out of it, or we're walking into a venue like one of the London hotels with bags full of balloons. Everyone's like, oh, what's it for? Is it for my birthday? You know, there's always just fun around it. So I would say make it epic. That's our kind of strap line, and it is a fun product we're working with.
I love what you said there, because you said it doesn't matter if it's a box or a major installation, because your customers, I think, range from this whole spectrum of someone who's ordering something for their granddaughter probably, or someone who's ordering something for a big product launch. So over the years you've worked with so many, and this is probably going to be a tough one, so I'm curious to see how you answer this. Because there are the popular events, maybe Christmas or Mother's Day or Valentine's Day, you know, where you see that surge with orders. But I'm sure there's other events that you see where you personally take interest and say, I think that's my favorite. Is there one that you personally like, or you personally think is your favorite time, an occasion where you love to create and say, let's get into this? I love seeing the final creation. Is there one that sticks out?
Yep, definitely. New Year's Eve.
Oh, I love that.
That's my favorite, without a shadow of a doubt. Everybody knows that. That's my favorite day of the year, just because it's literally where we get to showcase why we're the best of the best. So we wander around London, going from one epic venue to another epic venue, installing the most incredible ceiling installations or table center balloons, or we just completely transform all of these venues. And it's a buzz, a real buzz. You get a real kick out of that. And also the traffic's quiet. It's the one day of the year the traffic's quiet for us. So we always get to have a lunch somewhere all together. And there's like 17 of us that kind of meet somewhere in Berkeley Square or something and figure out a lunch. And just kind of, it's my moment to stop and go, yeah, this is pretty cool. Look what we've done. It's impressive.
I love to hear that. And just a disclaimer, this was not staged, but my birthday happens to be New Year's Eve.
That's fantastic.
So I'm so glad to hear that. That's your favorite, so which makes me your favorite as well. So that was really nice to hear. But let's get into the operational reality now. You know, this is all beautiful and you make it look so effortless, beautiful colors, beautiful, glitzy things. But there is so much that goes into it, especially because you deliver fully inflated balloons. So is that a norm in your sector, or why was that so important for you to not deliver a flat pack of balloons compared to a fully installed one, not just for events, but even when you're delivering one-off orders? Why did it feel like it was important to have that fully inflated experience for your customers?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think that is what we started the dream with. We wanted to send gifts in a box, and that's where the dream began. You know, in the early days, we'd go, imagine if we could just send 10 a day, that would be amazing. Now we've got like 400 leaving us on a Thursday. So the dream was always to send inflated balloons to people. And that's our USP, stay in your lane, do what you do and do it well. What we do is we send out inflated balloons that look incredible, that people can use to celebrate any kind of occasion, whether it's a bigger install or whether it's just literally a straightforward balloon in a box that's convenient for somebody to create their own little Pinterest birthday morning.
100%.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm going to ask a question which I think outside of the whole buying process comes to finally getting that beautiful creation to the doorstep. Delivery. How important a role do you see delivery playing in that whole customer experience?
It's just 100% critical. It's nobody differentiates us from the delivery company until that balloon's carefully in their possession for their one special occasion. Then there's no differentiation. They don't see anything different between us and DPD who are doing the delivery. So it's 100% critical for us that it goes as smoothly as it possibly can.
Amazing, because I've seen some of the Trustpilot reviews you get, and there are some glowing ones, of course, which talk about delivery, and then, like you said, they don't see you apart from the delivery, the carrier, or, don't see it as two separate things, and, they credit that to you. So.
Yeah. And it's such an emotional purchase for people. You imagine if
Exactly.
you've ordered that for your daughter's birthday and then you don't
Yes.
have it because you've been let down by the courier company.
Yeah.
They don't see that that was the courier company, that was us. We ruined that birthday moment for them. So it's a tricky one. It's not just like a day-to-day product that's being ordered. Somebody's really thought through the order there. They've needed it for something special, whatever it might be, a christening, a birthday, a bat mitzvah, it could be anything and everything. So that delivery and the fact that it's getting there on time is really critical. When you place an order on our site, you select your delivery date. We send everything out on a next day delivery service. So they've selected that date for a reason. We need to make sure that it gets there on that date as much as we possibly can.
And aside from the critical part of getting the delivery there on time, you also have, I think, massive boxes outside the average ones you would typically see coming to the doorstep, which is, I think, is that 800 by 900 mm?
That's the biggest one. So we've got 4 sizes that are designed specifically with the kind of size balloon bunches that we order, but the biggest one is like nearly a meter in terms of height.
Wow.
So yeah, they're big.
And what is the challenge you face when you're having this, and we'll come to your journey with GFS, but what is the objection or challenge you face with carriers when you say, this is the size we need to deliver?
I mean, no, it's not a nice product, is it, for people to deliver? From a delivery point of view, we aren't an ideal customer, I would say. People want to be able to deliver things that are palletized. We can't palletize our balloons because there's no weight to them and they're big and bulky. So everything has to be handballed on. So when the delivery driver arrives here, we literally as a team stop work, down tools and push all the boxes out to the delivery driver and push them up onto the van. And then when it gets to the other end, they get swept out at the other end with in the Midlands, sorry. So it's more, I guess it's an annoying product from a delivery point of view. So we're always looking for the right courier company who can collect easily from us in big enough vans, because if you're not coming in a big enough van, it's going to take lots and lots and lots of small trips. And then, it needs to be somebody who's okay with it not being palletized, which isn't ideal.
And coming back to time, because I think that is sort of the key crunch point of your product, because there could be someone who's very well prepared, well organized, and say, I'll place the order weeks in advance. And then there's the others who have a date in their calendar or forgot to put it in their calendar. It's like, oh, it's Mother's Day. I need to get a balloon to mom because I haven't made a restaurant reservation. So with that kind of spectrum of customers, how sensitive what are the different kind of delivery options you offer them outside of next day? Are there any other options in terms of what you offer someone who's probably much more planned compared to someone who's saying, oh, I need this is the order and I need to have it within the next few hours or in the next 24 hours?
Yeah. So you can select on the website that you can have a AM delivery, or it's an all-day service. So we try to encourage people who are organised to order it the day before they actually need it, so that it's there. So imagine if the birthday morning is on the Friday, you ideally want the balloons to arrive on the Thursday so you can hide them somewhere and then they're ready to get out on the Friday morning. So hopefully people have that thought process, and we encourage that through the website. But some people will forget, life is busy for everybody and things get missed. And somehow balloons seems to be one of those things. So we often have balloon emergencies, which you then can select the next day delivery, and you can pay a premium for it to be delivered earlier in the day so that it can kind of save the day. We do have our own vans as well, but obviously with the distance that we cover is much smaller compared to the distance that DPD cover, which opens up the whole of the UK for delivery for us, which is great.
So Laura, now walk me through your journey with GFS. How did GFS come on board? What were the challenges that made you think, okay, we need a managed multi-carrier partner like GFS?
So the first time that we really leaned on GFS and got you really involved in the business was during COVID, which was, I know it was awful for everybody. It was scary at the time, but we were, at the time that COVID hit, we were very event heavy. The business was probably 70% events and 30% online. Which is the balloons that go out with the couriers via you guys. And we literally watched the event board disappear overnight. So all of our events just cancelled one after the other. And our online sales started to creep up, to the point where we panicked and had to switch off the orders on the website to figure out how we were going to manage to deliver these orders while socially distancing and dealing with the crazy time that was happening.
Yes.
So we managed to figure that out, and everything was nice and steady. We knew how many orders we were processing every day. We knew what was being collected. And then just out of the blue, we got an email from our courier company who was picking up the boxes to say, we've given you 1 week's notice. We won't be able to collect your boxes as of next week. And that was the only way that we were delivering balloons at that time, because it was COVID. So we were just in a massive panic. And GFS were one of the people that we called at that time. You can imagine we were calling everybody. And you guys sorted it out for us. We had another courier company working via GFS within 2 weeks. I think we managed to get an extra week's notice from them. And then we signed up fully with you guys. And you've looked after us ever since. So yeah, you saved us at a time when we needed saving.
Oh, that's really brilliant to hear. And I think it matters to us that we're able to support our customers through contingency, and be resilient with you as an extended part of your team to support that. So I'm glad to hear you say that in your own words, and you've seen that through from COVID. What about now? What are the challenges you're facing, and what are the things that GFS supports with since the COVID period now?
I mean, post-COVID, I would say the biggest challenge for us is just the rising cost of everything. Everybody's experiencing it, right? From the price of butter to the price of fuel. It's
Tell me about it. Yeah.
Such a crazy time. But for us as a business, it just doesn't stop. It's the increased box prices, the increased helium prices, our rates have gone up, our rent has gone up. The NI has gone up, the minimum wage has gone up, like you literally don't get a break at all. Yeah. So it's one thing after the other. So this has been our biggest challenge post-COVID, and we came to you guys and said, we just can't afford these levels of courier costs. We need to figure this out. And surely this far past COVID, there's a way of doing that. So you guys helped us negotiate and get much better terms with the courier that's providing for us at the moment, which means that we're able to kind of keep our heads above water, pretty much. Yeah.
I want to move our conversation to peak now, because that is, of course, one of your critical times. And I think you see little bursts of peak through the year.
It's exciting.
I've heard from your account manager with the little chat we had that typically in a week you would see that surge on a Thursday.
Yeah.
But then when it comes to peak, the volume is like 3 times what you would see on, the most busy day of your week.
Yeah.
How do you plan that ahead? How do you prepare for that with your account manager to make sure you've got the volume locked in?
Oh, yeah, okay. I mean, it's just multiple conversations. So we try our best and predict what the volumes are going to be. But it's that nature of people being last minute and just going, oh my God, it's Mother's Day on Sunday. I forgot entirely. The nature of it is that we will be surprised by things. And it's always a surprise to us how many products are ordered, because it literally happens in the last few days before a peak moment. But we do our best to kind of predict that with you guys so that you know what the volumes are going to be, hold our nerve and hope that we've predicted it correctly and we do need all the trailers that we've booked and it's all going to go okay. But you guys know that if we suddenly see that it's not happening, we'll call in, and we have great relationships with you guys so we can just keep you up to date as things are happening. So yeah, it works well.
Brilliant. Was there I know Mother's Day is the one that comes to mind recently, but have there been other challenges you've seen around other peaks where you're like, is this really going to go to plan? Because I think this is like crunch time. This was totally not what we expected. How have you turned that around for your deliveries?
Yeah, I mean, the one that caught us by surprise was the elf arrival, which happened literally, I think it was this year went really smoothly, so November, but the year before was just crazy. We had no idea that the levels were going to go to the level that they were. We hadn't forecasted that with you guys because it wasn't traditionally a peak for us. It just kind of came out of nowhere. So we were, panicking. There might have been a few tears, but we managed to deliver everybody's elf.
Well, hopefully at the end of it, there were happy tears, and elves are always known to make trouble. So clearly they've gone with
definitely did.
So do you feel like having stronger visibility has really helped you sort of ease the squeeze when, it comes to crunch time, do you feel like having that visibility to then resolve your customer queries really helps through your partnership with GFS?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
And coming back to, you started as a small business, three, friends getting together over a drink and then saying, okay, let's start something. Now that I think you've tasted blood and seen that you can scale, having a reliable delivery partner, has that made you more ambitious about being more scalable? What's next? I mean, I've heard you're going to the US market, quite a few trips to the US now.
Yes.
And you're also planning to get into digital marketplaces. So how's all that coming around for you? Is that something you've been discussing with your account manager?
Yeah, I mean, we talk with the account manager all the time about growth and things. And I guess the confidence with the courier company, it gives us confidence in that side of the business. So where I said pre-COVID, the business was 30% online and 70% events, it's now 50-50, which is fantastic for us. So the big value events matching the level of online that we're doing, which is where we wanted to get to. But I think actually longer term, because the online side of it and the delivery with the courier company via you guys is a steadier product to be distributing. So the events is crazy times and hours, and you can imagine the work pressure on that side. And the online is actually the steadier kind of, you can predict how long it's going to take to do all those orders. We time it, we understand what that is going to involve, how many people are needed. So that's definitely an area we'd like to grow. And the wholesale side of it, so giving access to the balloons that we use to other balloon companies via wholesale is another avenue that we're growing slowly but surely, which involves you guys shipping to America and things for us. So yeah,
I'm excited to see that. Maybe we should do a part 2 of this podcast once that's all in place. That will be nice. I want to come to a fun segment. So we call this the lighter side. So literally we're with balloons. I mean, I couldn't think of a better name. What's the most unusual balloon request you've received? Because I'm sure you do quite a few, you get inquiries and say, can you do this for me? Some random hen do or a stag. Is there some weird request that comes to mind, thinking how strange or how creative rather?
That's a tricky one. We recently created an Elvis Presley out of balloons, so that was an unusual request. We made a dinosaur out of balloons. We are being asked for weird and wonderful things. Another fun one was we got asked to make a balloon look like a person from a photo ready for their birthday party. So we were making faces to look like their faces. So yeah, that was fun.
Oh, that's nice. I'd love to have a look at them at some point. Maybe we'll add it into the B-roll of this podcast.
Send you some photos, definitely.
And outside of, we've spoken about delivery and the challenges of that, but what are the disasters you see on the floor where you're like, this was not what we expected to happen, or it's just something that, that's a new lesson learned and, something to go as an education piece for us?
Yeah, I mean, I guess the biggest disaster that comes to mind following our conversation was just that elf week. It was absolutely crazy. There were elves just coming out of our ears. We couldn't keep up with things. And there were some late nights put in to make sure they all got delivered. So yeah, that's the biggest disaster that springs to mind. But it wasn't a disaster. We made it happen. And we always do. We always manage to meet the delivery expectations. But yeah, there was a bit of
So anyone who's interested in the elf balloons, make sure you place your orders well in time so they don't have to have sleepless nights. And finally, what's the one thing customers would be surprised to understand about the balloon business, saying, oh, that's unheard of?
I mean, if you spend too long here, you'll figure out that we have our own language for things. We have different names.
Give me an example. Come on, give me an example.
On the camera. And one of the most unusual tools that we use in the balloon world is actually a sheep castrating tool. That we use to hold the balloons open to put things inside. So that's probably the weirdest thing that happens around here.
Wow, I'm glad. Is near me? Do I? Right. Oh, glad. Oh my, that sounds exciting. I'm curious to have a look though to see how that goes.
We'll show you what we do with it.
Well, Laura, it's been brilliant talking to you, understanding your business, and more so understanding the operational complexity, because as much as it looks effortless when people see the videos, they see the final product, I think there's incredible amount of hard work and care that actually goes to making that experience so beautiful. So thank you for sharing with us today, and all the best with all your endeavors for the business in the future.
Thanks.
And the next time we talk, yes, I think there'll be more to share with our audience.
Oh, thank you so much. Thanks for coming to see us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.